Waka Wingathu Isak. My name is Mary Sherbick. My Yupik name is Isak, and I am a graduate student within the Masters of Arts Rural Development Program at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. What is rural development? The rural part refers to communities off the road system. We like to call them villages or hub communities. The development can be in regards to economic, administrative, community-based research, and leadership. Rural development encapsulates those two ideas. What is the RD program? This program helps students to navigate strategies and programs within rural development, highlighting Indigenous-based approaches, specifically within Alaska, but it can relate to most rural communities globally, not just nationally, globally. It encourages action-oriented individuals to utilize the information learned within this program to engage and partner with the broader community through various institutions. The purpose of this course, the seminar and rural community Indigenous development issues, which is also known as RD 691, is a coursework alternative option for graduating. The traditional routes towards graduation are usually a thesis or project work. So the core courses of the RD program are the following. I'll be discussing each core course and a key concept that resonates with me. RD 600, also known as Indigenous Leadership Symposium. The main idea of the class is to be able to identify and apply Indigenous leadership within your personal life, within your community, within your professional life, and within academia. The key concept from this course that resonated with me the most was self-understanding. I felt this when I participated in NALA, the Northern Alaska Indigenous Leadership Academy. While in NALA, I heard two heartbreakingly beautiful stories of motherhood and loss. These two women who shared their experience with us helped me to come to the realization that a deep, profound fear was holding me back in becoming a mother. This is also due to my own personal relationship with my mother, who passed away when I was only 17 years old. But after hearing these two women share their experiences, I decided from then on I was going to be a good mother. And this is what I truly wanted. I truly did want to be a mother, but it was just wrapped in fear and self-doubt. Once I decided that I was going to be a mother, it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time. 2 years later, I was pregnant with my daughter, Charlene Stern. This is my self-understanding. RD 601 is Political Economy of the Circumpolar North. The overall gist of the course is being able to recognize and examine political and economic systems within an Indigenous development context and the impacts, whether that's positive or negative, the impacts it has on rural communities. The key concept I relate to most is human development. And human development is trying to be a productive and involved human being. I felt this within my personal life, being a first-generation college graduate. It positively impacted my socioeconomic status and situated me in being able to assist my family financially. There was so many times it was very tumultuous, and I thought I had no other options but to quit. But luckily I had great mentorship, and I continued on with my education. And it has influenced me to understand my own family's historical trauma and to hold myself responsible for healing that within myself. Not just for me, but for generations after me. And this can ripple through not just within my own family, but hopefully within my community. This also has led me to navigate healing within talk therapy and relying more on healthy coping mechanisms, which include cultural traditional methods, practicing subsistence activities, storytelling, eating traditional foods with my friends and my family. These things are not just good for me, but they're good for my soul, and they help heal all the wrongs that happened before I was even born. This is my human development. RD 625, Community Development Strategies, Principle and Practice. This course teaches students how to describe and analyze the relationship between community development theory and practice, the value of evaluations, and the ability to facilitate the process of community-based development through strategies, which there's various ones. A key concept from this course that helped me transition from serving the country of Belize as a Peace Corps volunteer and coming back home was the idea of framing and reframing. I like to think of framing as when you have an initial approach towards a problem, and then the reframing is adjusting that approach because that initial framing just didn't work. So you have to reframe and adjust it so that it does work. There's always going to be that kind of cycle of framing, reframing within a person and within organizations. It's part of evolution. I think of this concept as an internal approach towards a problem that I had while I was thinking of what it meant to be a servant of my community. I felt that I had to live outside of Alaska, that I had to require an experience without any connections or familiarity to the people. This was my framing. Then I was medically released from the Peace Corps. I felt as if I failed because I had been released only about, 3 or 4 months of serving. It wasn't just a coincidence that I came back to Alaska, that there was a higher purpose, a higher power that knew I had to come back home, that I was ready to be a leader, to serve my immediate community that had helped me be who I am. But there was a dire need for that leadership from someone who came from within the community itself. This was my reframing. RD 650, Community-Based Research. I've taken this course a few times now due to life circumstances such as family loss. I've had my daughter, Marceline, and my partner and myself moved into a brand new home. But within this specific course, students learn how to practice research through various methods, primarily those focused on community-based research and project development to implementation, while recognizing the impact that research has on communities and being aware of Indigenous methods and paradigms. I had re-evaluated the way I thought of research after taking this course. This semester, it just gave me a better understanding of the significance of research and the way you approach it. The key concept that I felt that helped me understand this course the most was simply community-based research itself and how varied the methods can be when approaching this type of research. But the main one being that it really does take a village. It takes a whole bunch of people to be involved in this type of work. And those include the student researchers themselves, to the faculty members, the staff from the university, and most importantly, the community leaders, the tribal members, the activists, the elders, the folks who are the movers and shakers within their communities. You cannot do this type of research without them. It is absolutely necessary that you have a relationship with them. And it requires patience because it's a process and there needs to be input, active input being provided by everyone involved. And then there also needs to be evaluation of the findings and, of course, redistribution of that information. So the data that is collected, it doesn't just stay within the academic community. It must be presented to those that helped be part of the process, and maybe even so to the broader community. This is my community-based research. RD 651, Management Strategies for Role Development. This course allows students to recognize and examine the many strategies for successful management of change in rural Alaska. This also includes self-determination through various forms of government, which can include tribal and municipal, self-reliance through corporate form, which is also Alaska Native corporations, and management and advocacy via nonprofit and non-government organization mechanisms. The key concept I related to most from this course was self-determination or self-reliance. Raising my daughter is a result from a string of decisions that came from dedication and resiliency. My mother played a part in me being able to make these decisions for myself by encouraging me to take bodily autonomy in my own hands. So when she found out that I was sexually active, she decided it would be best that if I was going to continue to do so, that I take charge and be on birth control. So I did that. When the time came to me deciding I was finally ready to become a mother, I'm grateful that it was my decision to make. My partner and I are promoting our daughter to make decisions for herself. I know right now it is difficult because she's navigating the transition of being a baby to a toddler. Emotions are tough to process, and expressing those emotions are even more strenuous. But we are here to guide her through it together. I'm thankful that I decided to go past my fear and embrace the unknowns of motherhood. This is my self-determination. The overarching theme in the RD courses, and really the program itself, is community connectedness and action. Each of these courses require you to be part of the community, but not in a passive manner. It challenges you to be part of the community in a mover and maker manner. You have to take action, be it informed and collective action, but action nonetheless. There is no RD program without the relationships that you make there. This is how I felt throughout the whole program. I didn't just have professors, I had mentors. I didn't just have peers, I had friends. Great friendships developed and came from this program. With all that being said, my model for implementing what I've learned in the program will be expanding this knowledge outside of the academic cluster. Many of the students within my cohort have a long-standing history within university systems, and many of them work within it, myself included. My aim is to extrapolate what I've learned into the broader community. This can be through sitting on nonprofit boards, being more involved within the political arena, creating digital content, and simply engaging with more folks outside of academics. Really, the knowledge that sits within university systems need to be more accessible for those that haven't gone to college or cannot go to college for whatever reason. But I'd also like to challenge my peers to do the same. I'd like to challenge the faculty and the staff to do the same. You never know who you may inspire or what you might learn from other folks. Guyana, thank you so much for listening. And just a real deep-hearted thank you to all the faculty members, all the staff members. It really does. It takes a village to do everything in this life. And I would not be able to graduate without my awesome mentors, my peers, my family, my partner. But I'm very thankful for a community of people who were loving and caring enough to encourage me to keep going. So again, Guyana, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it.